So, I did get to go to my psych eval today, which was good. It is wonderful to be done with the checklist. Well, for the pre-op checklist, I had to do colonoscopy, I had to do EGD and colonoscopy, had to do, what else I had to do? Sleep study, diagnosis of obstructive sleep apnea, got my APAP, getting that under control. I have to have that, have to be using that for a good couple weeks before surgery, which I'm doing. I'm tolerating it nicely. It's going pretty well there. I also did, sleep study. Also did my dietitian and nutrition, or I guess it'd be the same person. Dietitian and exercise specialist. Saw those folks every 3 months. No, once a month for 3 months. I don't have it together today, apparently. Must be because I went to the psychiatrist, whatever he is. Anyway, so, of course, that might be the same thing too. But, anyways, so I got that. I got all those things done about a month ago. And all I had was a psych appointment. So, I did get it done today. About 8:30 in the morning. I had to drive about an hour from my house. Good news is that I didn't have to pay a lick for it. That's awesome, because I thought maybe I was going to have to fork out at least $150. From the get-go, though, when I first started looking into this, I thought I was going to have to pay upwards of $320. So you can imagine my surprise when I had to pay a lick. That's awesome. That's great. So that's done. My checklist is done. He is supposed to obviously write up that report, get it sent over to the right people, get it in their hands, and they will get it sent off to insurance. That's the next step, I suppose. Then once I get cleared, approved, whatever you want to say, then I'll go in for a pre-op appointment, get my bariatric Bible, as I call it, just a little binder of, what to do, what not to do, etc. How to prepare for this, what to bring for surgery, and all those things. So, that's exciting. Just one step closer. I had my first seminar in May 24th to be exact. So the time has went by. It has been a waiting game. It has been on my mind, so I can't say it went by real fast, but I can say that it went by about right, about the way it was supposed to. The time did. So the appointment today, I know there's probably a few people out there that are wondering or going to have a psych evaluation themselves. So I'm going to tell you what I learned. Obviously, it was just questions. I do believe that all he's trying to do is build a profile to show that you don't have a whole lot of mental issues, childhood problems, things that will affect you when you have surgery, things that will cause you to become unstable mentally for when you have surgery, because there is a mental aspect to this surgery. It will take a lot of mental effort, a little bit of stress and strain. I mean, it just is. But I hear from people all the time. There's a mental aspect to this, a psychological aspect, if you will, an emotional aspect, a lot of different points. So he's trying to build a profile. And what I mean by that is he asked me, if I was married, how many times I'd been married. He asked me about how many kids I have. He wanted to know their exact age. It was quite funny because I have a total of 5 kids, hers, mine, and ours, kind of a thing. And I was trying to explain to him the ages, whether they were boys and girls, and who they belonged to initially. Obviously, we're one big happy family now, but initially, who they belonged to. Man, we couldn't get it right for nothing. Well, I guess he couldn't. He kept telling me, so he's like, okay, so you had the 9-year-old girl. No, that wasn't me, that was her. That was my wife. So I told him, I said, man, I didn't realize my life was so complicated. And he just kind of laughed and said, I think that, he said, I think I made your life complicated right there. He said, I'm sorry. No big deal. Come to find out, this gentleman actually grew up same time my dad did, went to school with him, lived across the street from him, yada yada. So I got to chit-chatting with him about that. That was kind of cool. One of the comments that he, before I go there, one of the other things that some of the other things he asked me about were, he said, I know why you're here. He said, but tell me in your own words why you're here. and I proceeded to tell him, that I believe that I needed to make it known from a mental standpoint how I view this surgery, the things that I believe it will do for me, the things it will not do for me, how it will impact my life, how I'm going to handle it, etc., etc. So I guess he was happy with that answer. He did ask me what exactly the procedure was. I told him it was a vertical sleeve gastrectomy. I don't think he had a clue what that was. Maybe it's too new. But again, that's what led me to believe that he's just trying to put together a psychological profile. That's all it is. Just letting the insurance know who I am, why he would believe that I would be a mentally stable person and okay to have this surgery. So I think that's what he's trying to do. Now, what I was going to talk about earlier is that there was a comment that he made to me about to the end of it, when it was about over. He said, he told me, okay, I think that's all there is to it. He says, obviously, I have no say in whether you get the surgery or not. So, but I asked him, I said, well, but on your end, everything looks good, as far as what you're recommended for me. He said, oh, yeah. So for those of you that are wondering if it's going to make or break you, probably not. I know there's a lot of people going sweating it, but from his comment, and it may not be everybody's comment, but he told me it's really not up to him. He can't say yay or nay. That always will go to the insurance. So thought that was an interesting comment. Thought I'd pass that along. Maybe to help some of you guys to calm your nerves a little bit. Be able to move forward with your procedure. So, or be able to move forward with your psych evaluation with a little more calm. It wasn't bad. It wasn't scary. I did find myself still a little bit anxious, but then again, I always do. He asked me if I had any medical issues. He did ask me if I had any prior mental problems or any kind of mental treatment. Well, I had some counseling way back in the day over I don't even know what, and I told him it wasn't anything that went ongoing for any kind of treatment. He made the comment that he wasn't going to stick that in there. So, I don't know. You may want to evaluate yourself, see if that's something that you want to tell, if you had some mental treatment, be real with yourself. If it wasn't over anything super big, maybe a little depression, you may not want to mention that. Although I'm an advocate for telling, the truth. You want to get everything out there. You want to make sure that you put the truth out there so you can get the help that you need, or you can get somebody's honest opinion. But I did want to, let people know that that's something that he asked that seemed like it could make a difference or not. But anyway, so my profile's built, ready for that psych report to get turned in and get sent off to insurance. And somebody told me my insurance could take, the longest they've seen it take is a month and a half. Oh Lord, please don't let it be a month and a half. So I'm hoping to get sleeved first part of October. So that's it for now. I'm gonna go home, rest up, yada yada.